You know, in the age of adjustable drivers, the pulling of a shaft isn't what it once was. Let's see what we're going to do now. Welcome back to the McGolf Shop. Jim McCleary, most awarded certified club maker, club fitter, where we talk about club repairs, club reviews, and club fittings. If you would, like, subscribe, swing and hit that bell, and that way you get more of these videos when they drop. Adjustable drivers have been all the rage for untold number of years now, and changing, the lofts or even the face angle has become a commonplace occurrence. Except for when you go through a fitting and the fitter's already adjusted it for you and then you're done. But not everybody gets that opportunity. So how do you go about, let's say you break a shaft, or you try to reshaft, or you find out that shaft that you thought was going to work didn't. What do? Well, that's what we're going to talk about now. I have Paul from a neighboring town in Chillicothe, and I have Tim in New York. And the reason I have all these repairs to do, I thought, well, let's do a video on taking some of these shaft adapters out and how they go back in. This is really an important part because these guys are kind of similar. So what we did was we took out the shaft, which leaves you the head. Now, in both cases, it'll leave the screw in the inside there. You look here, there's the black one for the Ping and the silver one for the Mizuno. All right, I should tell you that this is the Ping G400 Max, and this is the ST180. Very cool looking blue, standard issue look for Ping in its matte black finish, very nice as well. So you got when you take these out, the screw should stay in there. Now if you look in just about every case, there is a series of washers, steel, rubber, all these different kinds. They go in there. Now, if for some reason you needed to get a new adapter, it will also come with that adapter screw in it in case for some reason it falls out. And if you see, you can see that it looks like a washer. Sometimes they are, sometimes it's molded part of the head, and then the rubber washer that's underneath of it. This is what allows you to, put the head and the adapter together. And they're on every club, everyone. The cool part about this is, everybody was really worried about burning the paint on heads. Well, and that's still a thing if you have a non-adjustable. However, that removes that hazard, but it introduces a different one. All right, most of these are made, let me do it the right way for you. Most of these are a machined aluminum of some variety. And they're also they've been anodized. That's the black color with all the painting on them. So you can see in this particular instance, this is the Mizuno, and it has a variety of loft angles on it. Now what you may not see is, you see this part here, this is the shoulder. It's got little indentations, so you can see it like that. Little indentations right there, and that's what kind of press fits into the head. Then it gets attached into the bottom, and there's some seating there as well. Now in this particular one, there's no ferrule. That's all metal. So now that's at anodized aluminum will transmit some heat pretty fast. So you've seen me do things such that 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, go around 10 seconds, or even 20 seconds, go all the way around. Well, what this is doing is, if you go too much, it'll bubble, and the paint will disappear because the aluminum will get porous, and we don't want that. So we've got to, for the normal head removals, might be 60 seconds worth of heat application. In this case, it's only going to be about 30. Well, how are we going to pull these? Well, now on my shaft puller, because it's a no ferrule, we could just put it in here like this and pull it out normally, which is probably what I'm going to do. However, to show you what's going on, GolfWorks makes a little bitty tool, which when you think about it, it's really nothing more than a set screw with a washer, and it threads itself all the way in there, so it gets a very, very large bite. And then this is the part that sits in the puller instead of that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to heat this thing. We're going to use the butane. All right, there's a butane. You'll see some guys out there want to use a heat gun because they say it's lower and all that stuff. As long as you apply the heat correctly, I think that's more important. You're at a higher risk if you use the big propane torch because the flame is just so big, right? That's the reason why I like this. It's a smaller application. You can get in there and we'll take it off. So we're going to show you this. We're going to take you over there, we'll get you on top of the puller so you can see what happens when you go to pull this guy out. So real quick, 10, 10, 10, and 10, 30 seconds. Over here to the puller, out it comes. Then the next part you got to really get to is the clean out. So we'll really get to that here. So let's get started. You saw me pulling it out. It was a pretty easy little pull. I had to throw a little bit more heat to it because I had to set up the camera over top of the puller and it cooled down a little bit, and then you saw what just a little bit of heat did, so it's all good. Now you got to clean it out, and you want to clean it out when it's warm, all right? Not super hot, but warm. And holding on to it while you're using one of these is not the easiest thing to do. Come to find out, you just put it back in. And it's all done. Look at that, we're in there. So I want to talk about putting it back together because these are a little bit different than your average adapters. Again, we talked about the shoulder that goes right up in here. And if you can look right up into here, there's the opposite indentations are up in there. And what we're shooting for a 10-5, so we line it to the back. And we get it in there, and you notice in a lot of cases, and a lot of the other adapters, they'll just push right in, and most of them, but this one's not. So what I got to do is hold on to it, and you use your little torque wrench that you get, and you see how it pulls it down and in. And everybody wonders about this. Go. All right, 2 clicks, that's all you need. Because that thing's a breakaway torque wrench, right? Or 1 click, you know that you've made your torque that the manufacturer wants you to have. 2 click means it's seated. Now we're ready, and it's ready to put this one back together. So let's go do the ping. All right, the ping adapter is going to be a little different in that this piece right here is actually a ferrule, and it is actually plastic. And in this particular case, I am going to show you the set screw and washer combo. And the idea is that you want to make sure that it makes it in there. And it's tight. It's not, loose by any shape of the imagination. And it's in there as far as it can go. And then this is where those forks will go. So again, I don't think I really have to destroy the rubber piece too much. But in this case, we're going to do the same 30 seconds. Now I will say this is that we did say aluminum does transfer a lot of the heat, so that heat is going right to here and to here. So just don't grab that in thinking that it's going to be it's going to be cool. No, it's not. It's going to be hot. So you want to be careful of that. Let's go pull this one. Okay, you'll notice that we've opened up the jaw area here, or the amount that it slides, and that's in order to make room because now the jaws are holding here instead of melting this rubber ferrule or plastic ferrule and then putting that piece right here. Very, very convenient. So just like last time, we're going to hit this thing early. We're going to try and pull it out. And there it is. Okay, Okay, so that nice easy pull, and you notice that, you know, for guys that like saving ferrules, that was an easy one, so this is something that you would really want to do. Now we're going to go clean this one out. All right, now we're setting this one back. This was a 10-5 club, and you see where the big O, that's for the standard, and you notice this one went all the way down in. So we're just going to go and tighten this guy up. And this guy has a bit of a longer screw in it, so it takes a little bit, but first one, second one. All right, so that was just about taking the adapters out. Now the assembly part's a whole different matter. We're putting in a nice Acura FX 2.0 in this guy, and we're putting in a Kurokage in the other one. You know, you've seen, if you're looking for assembly, I'll put up a couple of videos up here, but this was more about taking these apart and how they go back together. Right, because Ping also had a, you know, if you go on some of the forums, that they've been cracking back in here because of this massive fit, and you know, guys are always tightening them every, I don't know, however often. You know, as a precaution, you might, once it's in here twice, you get to the course, you give it a click, you should be good to go. If it's coming apart, something's wrong. You may not have the right number of washers in here. No, there are no washers in there. The number of washers in there, you may not have truly tightened it, or you know, you could have gotten a bad torque wrench where the breakaway is a little light, and yeah, it did come apart from that one. So some things to check when you're out there using your adjustable wrenches and your adjustable drivers. And as always, let's see your scores go low.